but I'm successful doing something in a very, again, saturated market that I overcame. Obviously, like I said earlier, I stayed in Lynchburg because I started the family young, made my way up to, office jobs, to having my own full-blown real business. You can look at me and you're like, well, she did it. I can make an impact on others that they can do that as well.
Welcome to another episode of the Dream Achievers podcast with the Mountain Money Man. This is Andy Young coming to you, and I've got a interesting guest today with Katelyn Chewning with the Custom Cactus. And this isn't a prickly thing to worry about. This is fun stuff that's glittery and sparkly and fun. So Katelyn, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to ask you, because, custom cups and everything that comes along with it is not like an easy process. How in the world did you decide, like, this is something I want to do?
Facebook, I was scrolling through because I have one of those vinyl cutters and like a how-to group. And this is back when the market wasn't super saturated. Like, it was first on the scene and somebody had showed off what they had made. And I was instantly like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to do that. So did a ton of research, realized that it was not easy to do. It was not easy to start up. Back then, you couldn't just go buy the materials to do it. You had to make the materials to do it and then figure out how to make it. So once I got through all of that and perfected it, then I was done. I was making glitter tumblers.
So were you, I know obviously you're shipping these things out all over the country, but you set up at a lot of local events, and that's where, my wife met you, of going through and just kind of sharing things here locally in the Central Virginia area. But I know you have a presence online with your own shopping store, probably on Etsy, things like that as well, right?
I first started out here in the community and just quickly ran through that and brought it all over the place. I mean, we've shipped internationally, started off on Etsy, but Etsy's gotten a little crazy with fees and how they're more corporate than they are handmade anymore. So I took the leap and did my own website. So I go through Shopify.
You did a fantastic job with that.
I hired somebody to do that,
showing all of your amazing designs.
Thanks.
So Katelyn, now, did you grow up in the kind of greater Lynchburg Forest area?
Yep, I born and raised here and never left. I'm in Forest right now, but Lynchburg was where I was at, and yeah.
Okay, so did you stay local for college and everything as well, or?
No, I actually had my first child in high school. So this is where my support system was. This is where all my people were. And I know everybody doesn't like Lynchburg, but I like Lynchburg. So why leave? This is where I was thriving. So
yeah, I think it's always funny because it's the people that grew up here that can't wait to leave. And then there's tons of other people that are coming like, this is amazing. I love this little town. It's great.
Well, for us, but I can remember when Ward's Road was just like Walmart and Sam's Club. So Lynchburg's totally different now when people come. I'm sure they do like it.
Yeah, I can remember talking with a gentleman that he remembers when Ward's Road was a farm.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks quite a bit different with that. So you were scrolling through, you were on Facebook, just kind of looking, you saw the picture of a glitter tumbler. How does that work? You weren't doing that full time at that moment. You were kind of doing some vinyls and everything and having fun, it sounds like. But, how do you leave from a day job and then take up this passion project and make it your big girl job?
Well, see, I actually had a really good job at the Pearson Cancer Center. So I had a good job. And once this kind of took off, and my husband works a lot too, I had to decide whether or not I wanted to stay in an office job that also, although I love the environment, I didn't like doing insurance. Or did I want to do something I had a passion for and that people were responding to? And it was an easy decision. We had the money coming in. At some points, I was making more money doing the cups than I was at the office job. So it was like, why? It was easy.
So tell me, back when you were first starting with that, what were some of those initial challenges that you had up front that you just kind of had to figure out, like, hey, I got to do this differently? or maybe that you just didn't think of with starting a business?
I mean, what I didn't realize that I needed was the confidence. If I'm not showing that I'm confident and I believe in what I'm doing, nobody else is going to believe in me. So that was really hard for me in the beginning. Like, people would ask me about it in public, my face would get all red and I was stumbling all over my words. And, everything for me is social media. So I had to get people to want to interact with me and follow along with me, but I had little confidence in it in the beginning. So that was my hardest thing to hurdle over, was, making people believe that I believed. And once I got through that, it took off to a whole different thing.
Yeah, I mean, right now you and I, we've met in person, but we're connecting right now through this tiny little dot that's at the top of my computer and at the top of your iPad. And it's funny, you learn just how to communicate and express in a different way to where it comes across and people are like, I love Katelyn. I want to talk to her more. Like, I want to find out about these products and what's going on.
Right.
And you just kind of have that instant feel of like, I know this person, even if you've never met directly.
Right. Because at some point, it's not even like they're buying the product, they're buying you. Like, they're into it for you. So it just changes the game completely.
So along the way, I know obviously it sounds like support system with your husband that's been incredibly impactful, but who else has been as far as relationships for you as a business owner to help get you started up or to get you through those tough times with that have been impactful for yourself?
When we speak, my husband does all the financial stuff. Like, there's no way. I have no desire. He loves doing the spreadsheets, paying the taxes. Like, he loves seeing the money coming. Like, he just loves all of that. So he takes care of all of that. But this is one of the biggest things. It's funny because I always tell people is making relationships in your community with other small businesses and handmade, because finding the customer base that will shop handmade is hard. So if you create bonds and relationships with other people, not doing the same thing as you, but in the same business as you, you're reaching different customers because you're feeding off of each other, you're sharing each other's stuff. And that has been the biggest thing for me,
Well, I shared everything with, we're hopefully going to be going on a trip, but there definitely is a trip, but myself personally and my wife and our two little daughters, the Central Virginia Area Business Coalition is going on a trip to Disney. And you got some awesome mouse toppers for the cups and everything that I shared with the group that I'm like, hey, now you know whose is whose, and you have a custom cup to go along with it. So it's fun when you can have events like that you're kind of coming along and that you're excited for them. It's like when people get the t-shirts made and everything that it's like, you get the custom cup that's going for that event, that it's exciting. I'm sure that when you're doing that journey along with them, if it's a custom piece versus just a stock piece, that's fun.
Yeah, it's nice having functional art, and you're walking around with it, you're proud of it. It's customized to you and your likes, and it's a lot of fun for people. It's a lot of fun for me to make them.
So this is always the fun question that I ask for everybody. What's the impact that you want to be remembered for here in your community? Obviously, it was important enough for you to stay here locally, but what do you want to be known for doing here, Katelyn?
I think that I want to be successful, but I'm successful doing something in a very, again, saturated market. I'm doing well, but that I overcame, obviously, like I said earlier, I stayed in Lynchburg because I started the family young, and that I overcame all those obstacles and waitressing and made my way up to, office jobs, to having my own full-blown real business, not just, craft time on my kitchen and, my kitchen counters and selling it later. Like, you can look at me and you're like, well, she did it. She was able to overcome all that and make a successful business, and she's thriving and she's happy. So I'm hoping that I can make an impact on others, that they can do that as well. So
yeah. It's when you can have that passion behind it, right? Like when you have that other person that maybe they're listening to that right now and they're saying, wow, right now I'm doing the day job. and I've got this side project that it's, I'm hoping that I can find the right market. I'm hoping I can get it off the ground. But when they hear that, and they've got somebody else that I'm sure that you'd be willing, if they sent you a DM or anything, that it's like, hey, I'm looking to do this, that you're kind of saying, hey, this is what I did. Like I took that leap, but I didn't take it immediately. Like I had to grow to a point where it could hand off. And it wasn't this huge hurdle that it was like you go from making a consistent paycheck to saying, hey, I'm going to go down the entrepreneur road, and it's okay if I make zero. That's a big shift. For sure with that. And for those of you that don't follow, I'm going to have the link down below. So on YouTube, you'll be able to click the link down below, or on the podcast, you'll see it in the show notes. There'll be a link to be able to go to Katelyn's site with the Custom Cactus. How did you come up with the name, the Custom Cactus?
So sometimes I want to change it, but then it's like, who wants to rebrand? But I tell you, it's so silly. I was looking through emojis on my phone, and like cactuses are starting to really come in. I was like, oh, I can attach a little cactus emoji on everything I post. And now it's like, don't want to use emojis on everything. Nobody will take you seriously. But it was a cactus emoji, and then custom C's. It's not that great of a story.
That's okay. That's okay. With that sometimes those are the most fun, that it was like, I don't know. I just randomly went, I can't call myself the smiley face, group or something. So that's good. So where can people keep up with you? I know you share a lot of stuff as far as showing those cups, going round and round on their little custom racks to get cured, but where can people follow along with your journey?
I try to post it everywhere. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Like I'm everywhere I can be, because that's really the only way to survive, in social media.
And there is the Custom Cactus, correct? That's the username.
The Custom.
Don't just go to Custom Cactus. You're going to go to the wrong place. You want to go to the Custom Cactus.
I think there is a Custom Cactus out there, and they sell cacti. So if you end up in cacti world, that's not me.
Yeah, that's how you immediately know, nope, wrong place with that. So be sure to click the link down below so that you can see with that. Kristen and Chris with the Minnie's Travel Boutique, I'm going to give you a shout out so that you can have the link down below for them as well. So for those custom tops, if you're seeing this right now, because Kristen and Chris, this is the person behind making those. So now you've got to meet the maker with that, which is always fun. Katelyn, before we go, I wanted to thank you for your time of going through and sharing with that in the community. What's the next event that you're going to be set up at here locally?
Well, I helped plan the Peaksview Market. So when I met you at the holiday market, that was something that I was involved in and making happen. So our next one is the spring market. I wish I forget the date of it. It's in May.
It's coming up. I tell you what, I'll make it easy. There's a link down below so that you can see with that. It's on Facebook so that we can see that. And by the beauty of technology, and we're both looking at our mobile devices right now, we can look at our calendar. So that will be down below that you can see and share. There's tons of other vendors, lots of people that are here local that this is their passion and what they're doing. Some of them, it's their full-time gig. Some of them, it's their side hustle with that. So it's always you can meet other makers and people that are out doing things in our community. Katelyn, thanks so much for joining us today on that. Again, this is Andy Young, the Mountain Money Man, signing off until the next time we catch you down the road.